Welcome back, you guys. This is your girl, Wicked Raider 22, looking at a champion that just about all of us will have access to. Everybody should have access to. But, I don't know. I want to know for those of you who have this champion and are currently using this champion, in what area have you seen this champion change your account the most? And what I'm talking about is an epic champion, epic barbarian that you receive after doing a little bit of logging in or via a shard pool, and it is none other than High Khatun. Now, I'll be honest, I have the opportunity to work with this champion on two of my three accounts at this point, trying to get a feel for areas in the game where she operates the best. And this is a really good champion. Now, you guys know how I love to do a good review, but a lot of times my reviews don't necessarily go with the flow of other creators. And the thing is, it kind of depends on where your account is at the point. To be honest, it really depends on how much time you're putting into your account, how much money, if you're choosing to just stick true to free to play, or if you are going in and spending here and there, or if you're a huge spender, then the type of champion that you're going to gravitate toward is going to be a little bit different. But this login epic champion is a great one, has received a lot of reviews. You're going to see a lot of different videos created just for her. But what I haven't seen is if you are a player who is playing level 50 and below, what has been the biggest impact that High Khatun has had for your particular account? Now, I'm going to show you guys the reviews. I, for one, like looking at the reviews. I can't say that rating champions is always like something high in my mind, but I do like to kind of see where others are using a champion and also what they think. Because sometimes there are some people that will loathe, absolutely hate a champion. And for some reason, they're like your favorite go-to person for your account. So it's all about how you're built as well. Now, looking over High Khatun's ranking, Hydra is not going to be a huge area. Magic Keep is 3.7. Fire Knight's Castle is going to be another area where she's a little bit low. Spider's Den, I can definitely see it. But when I think about this particular champion, I think currently I am using her more in the arena, is one. I only run her through campaign when I'm actually trying to level her up. And a couple of the dungeons, of course, are hit or miss for me. But she's one of those champions that I appreciate when I need a large amount of damage. And that's where this support champion comes in, but she can definitely produce some really good numbers. So as always, let's take a look at the skill kits. And if nothing else, I've been receiving so many comments about being sure to have speed on your boots. And guys, for everyone that has left a comment, thank you so much. You are not going unheard. It is always appreciated. Please keep repeating. And whenever you see me with the build out, because some of these are so sad, definitely give me suggestions and let me know where these artifacts can be pulled from as well. Because I think, honestly, we're going to do an entire video just on artifacts, those that are worth it, those that are not worth it, and where we should be adding glyphs as well. But back to this particular champion. Now, skill set, we're coming in with 3 good little skills, and of course, an aura that's hanging out there. She's going to start you off with Imperial Grace. And what I want you guys as new players, as beginning players, to really pay attention to, the biggest piece of advice that I've received and I've tried to stick to quite a bit is knowing those champions that can be good mid and end game. So when I'm choosing as a beginner to start putting in those resources, using those champions for food, going in and deciding who to book, who not to book, taking those better artifacts and adding glyphs, I want to know that I'm putting all these resources in, using all of this energy, all of these books for a champion that can actually make it to mid or end game. High Khatun is definitely one of those that has been spoken about over and over again. So when you're looking at her first skill, Imperial Grace will attack one enemy, has a 25% chance of placing a 30% decreased speed debuff for 2 turns. And of course, she is attack based. Now, the decreased speed is helpful, especially when you have her on a team with another champion that may be a turn meter manipulator. It took me several champions, quite a few levels in, before I actually acquired my first champion that would impact the turn meter of enemies. I didn't really understand the impact that that could have until I started getting involved in those longer battles, until I started reaching dungeons and was actually able to progress past stage 12, stage 16. When you're hitting stage 20 and above, having a champion that can go the mile is always going to be a big one for you. Now, the damage that she delivers can be increased or buffed by 20%, and the buff debuff chances can also be increased by an additional 15%. Is she resource heavy? She's not the heaviest I've seen, but for this first skill, you will be putting in resources. So keep that in mind. If you're not ready to build out this champion, vault her and come back at another time. Second skill is going to be Rally the Horde. Fills the turn meters of an ally, of all allies, by 15% and places a 30% increased speed buff on all allies for 2 turns. Oh, there's so many good things about this. So many. Would it be nice to get it down from a 4 turn cooldown? The answer is yes. So you can get it down to a 3. I appreciate it. So that book is going to go directly to the cooldown. But it is the fact that you are filling the turn meter of all allies by 15%. And remember, I just told you guys that if she is on another team with another champion that may happen to be a turn meter manipulator, this can definitely come in handy. Now, placing the 30% increased speed buff is also helpful, especially when it's hitting everyone for 2 turns. So you're thinking if you're already in a dungeon, for example, and you have a champion such as Eris for all of my beginners, if you have Elhain, if you still have Sniper on your team, I'm thinking about Painkeeper is another one. I have fell in love with Dur the Hungerer. These are all champions that you want to have them going from skill to skill as quickly as possible. And that can definitely, number one, keep the enemies from attacking in the first place. But number two is most definitely going to increase your chances of success. Now, her third ability, Shamanic Lightning, attacks all enemies. Oh, my heart just gets so excited whenever I see the word all. The other word that I love so much is and, not or, because the higher champions will give you the or, and it's like, oh, why? Just get in there and get it done. So on this one, she's attacking all enemies and has a 50% chance of decreasing the turn meter by 15%. That one is big. Damage can be increased, of course, by 20%. We're not taking a bunch of books to get this one done. We can increase that buff debuff chance by 25%, which will get this up to 75% overall. Can't walk away from that one. And we can take this down to a 4-turn cooldown. When you are thinking of her, when you're thinking of where to put High Khatun, it's going to depend on how early you pull her. Now, on my initial account, I actually pulled her as a login champion, and she may still, I think she still is your first login champion after 30 days. So by that point in your account, most of us have, I think I think I had already unlocked the forge. So I was to the point where I had access to some better artifacts there. I was maybe stage 8 to 10 in most of my dungeons by that point. So I was using her, especially in arena, to not only garner points. I'm thinking about like events, tournaments, and clan be clan. But I was also able to use her as far as running her through campaign with my farmer to push myself forward. Now, remember, I'm speaking as someone who has not made it to the nightmare level, even in my paid accounts, and I am working through brutal as we speak on that account as well. For my free to play accounts, I've made it to hard level, but these are the champions that I use once they are acquired to add some of my better artifacts to and to push us through. Last but not least, this is a champion that increases ally speed in all battles by 19%. The more champions you acquire, you're going to realize that these percentages can be anywhere from 7.5 to 14, 13, 17, 22. So it's going to be an increase for you. Now, looking at her HP, attack, and defense, not bad numbers, definitely. Speed is 104, so she's most certainly not the slowest champion that you will acquire. Crit rate and crit damage are two areas I know for me, I have definitely been pushing myself to improve in. So it's one of those areas where I know I want to build her out, especially when I know looking just at the skills themselves and keeping in mind that she's attack based. A lot of my champions, to be honest, I run perception gear, at least in two of those little slots. Everything else is kind of depending on what I have available. If you are just starting out, many of you guys still have 1, 2, and maybe some 3-star artifacts. As you start to acquire those higher level champions, the ones that you know long term you're going to keep them for that mid end game, start switching over to that higher gear. Be very careful about equipping a champion and then having to go back and remove and upgrade that champion, because that silver exchange is going to be huge, especially once you're beyond your first couple of weeks in the game. You've been burning through so much silver because the opportunities have been really good. But this is a gotcha game. They will get you started, they will get you excited, they'll get you involved, and then play. Oh, and then Raid Shadow Legends is going to look and say, hey, by the way, those pop-ups start looking better and better and better. But remember, you can do this game with a free-to-play account. So if you haven't challenged yourself, go ahead and make the challenge. So you guys let me know. What do you think of this champion? I've enjoyed her so far. I've had a chance to actually play with her for about 30 to 40 additional days. She is still in my original account. She's in my secondary account as well. She's a champion that I was really excited to log in and acquire, and she has been extremely versatile. I have made some really good progression. So tell me, who is the champion that has allowed your account to progress so far? Some of you guys have been playing as long as I have, a couple of weeks in. What champion are you actually looking forward to adding to a team that would include High Khatun? I would love to know. If you've made it this far, do me a favor, go ahead and subscribe. We release material every Monday through Friday at 7 a.m. Always looking for comments, and your tips have been awesome, so definitely keep them going. You guys let me know what champion you would love to see a review on. And if I have played with them, I will certainly let you know. It's nothing like a beginning review to have something to pull apart. I will talk to you soon.